All right. Yuval, thanks a lot for joining us. It's been a pleasure having you here, and we're really excited about the talk today. So maybe you can start off a little bit about an introduction to yourself, your company, Wild Foods, and this fantastic product, the smoked salmon.
Yes. Hey, everyone. So I'm from Switzerland, born in Ticino, Italian-speaking part of Switzerland. And 4 months ago, let's say 5 months ago, we started our company. It's called Wild Foods, where we produce a vegan alternative to salmon. So it was a bit of let's say a funny start. It's not a conventional business model, whatever. It just happened to be, and I'm here to talk about that, I guess, today.
Perfect. So are you yourself a vegan, and kind of what was the inspiration?
Yes. So I was born and raised in a vegetarian family. So I think I was 7 when I decided to not wanting to eat meat at all. And I've been vegan for, I think, the last 7-8 years. I cannot remember exactly the date. Yeah. So, yeah.
And what was the inspiration for the product? How did it come about?
So I was always doing a lot of different things in the kitchen. So I was into doing vegan cheese, and I was always having this dream to produce something for the retail business, no? And when I looked around, I saw already that there were already a lot of cheeses and a lot of this and that, and I came about this recipe through my wife. So we tried it over Christmas time last year. It was, I think, 2020. We tried it at home of her family, and it turned out to be like a big success. So much so that our father-in-law, which doesn't like fish, he couldn't eat it. It was too real for him. So for me, then clicked. It was like, hey, why doesn't this exist in the shop? It's kind of tricky to make, or like it's not too tricky. You can make it at home also in a different recipe, but it still takes you a few days to do it. So sometimes you don't have time to cook, so you want to have it straight off the shelf. And it was like, it clicked for me. It was like, hey, why doesn't this exist yet? There's plenty of things. So I tried it out.
And was it easy to kind of get started? And you had the recipe from scratch, or were there iterations?
No. So basically, it happened a bit in a funny way. So I was working for this tofu factory here in this small village in the mountains in Switzerland. There is a really old tofu factory. There are like they have like this old way to smoke the tofu in a very traditional way. And they had like one smoking chamber that they weren't using. So they proposed me to try it out, to use this chamber. And so I threw it out. I threw some carrots in there, and it turned out amazing from the first time. It was like, hey, wait a second, this is amazing. It's something you cannot really make at home. Like at home, you will use like liquid smoke or some different types of condiments like tamari. And to really smoke it, it gives this really authentic taste of salmon, basically, So it happened this way. It happened that I tried it out, and it worked out really well. And I started to do more and more. I started to make some connections with the local organic shop, and to understand more how the business works. And it's been a long journey, like a year, let's say, until we were really ready to start. Yeah.
And what a start you've had, actually, because the success it's everywhere. So maybe tell us a little bit about that, and how did it happen?
Yeah, so it's a funny story a bit, like we really started in this how you say in this garage, let's say, with this smoking chamber. And I've been doing this for like at least 4 months, selling like maybe 100 packages a week. And in the meanwhile, I designed the packaging that you might know, or some people don't know, but it's a really cool looking packaging. I think it's also been like our business card for the big clients, because they saw the packaging and they realized like, hey, this looks very professional. And what happened is that slowly we had this packaging, and I realized, okay, we need to do more. So we went to this last year. We went in Zurich to the vegan festival in the main station in Zurich, and I think we got really lucky because we were like one of the only stands with a really innovative product, except the other ones that, you know, there are a lot of other brands in Switzerland that are already famous for a few years, but we were like the only one that had something like we got a lot of attention from there. We got really lucky with like a service on the Swiss television, and like they made a small documentary about us, and there were a lot of clients, like the biggest retail stores in Switzerland. 3 of them, they came on our stand during the festival, and they was like, hey, do you want to sell your product to us? And it was like, you know, we yeah, they didn't see that behind this packaging there was just a dude with a garage, you know. So but yeah, in that moment we we started to do really a lot since then. So we had turned this idea and this project into something serious where we could like deliver many salmons, basically. Yeah.
What gave you the idea of carrots? Like, that's not something I would think of when I think of salmon.
Well, carrots have they're really okay. So first of all, I always like the idea of vegetables in vegan cooking, because I think there is plenty of meat substitutes that are based on some sort of proteins, and they're all great, but there is a lot of other things missing. I miss the fun in the food. I miss like some healthy food also. And of course there's tofu, which is great, and there is a lot of things with pea protein and stuff. But like vegetables itself, they have a great texture. They're like naturally, they have like a great like how you say, they look great on their own. They're like meat. They're naturally like meat, and you don't have to process them in a way to turn them into something else. You can just use them as they are, and they look amazing. So carrots, they are orange. You don't need to do anything. It's like salmon, and they have a great texture, and you don't need to add anything to them. You know, you don't need to make them go through a big machine and make them look like fish. So and of course they are not only regional, but they're also seasonal. So you have them all over the year, which makes it a great thing, you know, because to start a business like this, you need to rely on something that you can have all year long. Otherwise, you need to take breaks, and it's not good. And carrots you have all over, you know. And yes, there's not only carrots, there's other of plenty vegetables that you can turn into vegan meats.
Yeah, I think that's a little bit about your philosophy as well, as kind of making veggies sexy again. So what's your kind of vision or plan or philosophy?
Well, our plan is really to bring back, like if you go to a big retail store right now, as I said before, you see a lot of products that are great, but they're all the same a bit, you know, they're all different shapes, but they're all on the same basis. And what's really missing is like, I think what we realize with our product is that it's like a vegetable that is as it is, with not too many ingredients, and that you can give to your kids to eat without feeling guilty. Like, and I mean, if you're vegan or vegetarian, you know that there is so many ways to get your proteins. So I don't believe that we don't try to give the protein to someone. If someone can eat the salmon for fun, you know, for a nice apero, it tastes really great. That's what our meaning is. Like philosophy, what counts is the taste, the texture, and then of course the protein. You need to eat something else also, you know, you mix foods. So our vision is like to really bring like a line of products that are based on vegetables in a fun way that you can give to your kids, that have a great texture, that you don't miss, let's say, the meat, you know, or the fish.
Wonderful. Maybe we can go to some questions now from everyone on the call.
Sure. I saw that you are using organic carrots, and I was wondering, where do you source it from?
So basically, we source them from. Are you from Switzerland? So if I say
originally I'm Hungarian, but I have been living here for 5 years. So yeah.
Okay, so we it's also a mystery to me that there is so many carrots. Actually, it's really funny to like. Yeah, so basically we source, it's not only organic, it's like Bio-Knospe, which is even higher level of organic in Switzerland, which is very important for us. We will have the logo soon on it. And we source them from Zeeland. It's like the area between the seas near Biel. It's a very fertile area where carrots grow very well. And cool. Yeah, we source them from different farmers. We have like a partner that collects them and brings them to us every week, twice a week. And I've been also really impressed on how many carrots there are. I'm thinking, you know, like, where will this carrot go if we wouldn't use them, you know? Like, and no one, and I mean, I guess everyone still eats carrots at home, so there is still carrots for everyone else. And and you know, my question also comes to our partner, like, are there going to be more carrots because we are expanding our production? It's like, yeah, don't worry, there is carrots. So yeah, it's really strange.
How cool. And you mentioned before that
there. You know, I think.
Go ahead.
Sorry. No, I think it's like it's a bit a bizarre time also with Corona. Like all the restaurants are closed, so the carrots that we are using, they're like not the carrots that you buy in the shop. So they're not the prettiest carrots. They're like big carrots that, you know, every year they get thrown out at the end of the year for animals because there is a lot of overproduction of carrots sometimes, you know. And yeah, so we're tapping into this, I think, now, especially if the restaurants are closed. Yeah.
Cool, thank you. Yeah, and I was wondering, you know, you just mentioned before that there are other vegetables too that are super sexy and cool. And I was wondering, is there any other plans in the back of your head, like starting some new products too?
Yeah,
where's the journey going?
There is. We're like, yeah, we have a few projects going, and our project is to bring out a second product this year, still 2021. We cannot reveal, of course, too much. It will be more something like meat, not fish, and yeah, look out for it.
We will. Thank you. Yes. Exciting. Are you guys still using that smoking chamber that you told us where everything started?
It's funny. It's a good question, actually. So I think we got really lucky. I mean, lucky. It's been a really nice journey for us because we had like a lot of good omens on our way. And this smoking chamber we were using, I mean, we used it until 2 months ago, but it would have been insane to use this to produce what we produce now. Like we had to wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning because you had like, as you know, like how you say, butchers, usually when they smoke their meat, they do it in the morning because the climate changes in the afternoon. So in the old way of doing it, the smoke then, like if you start smoking too late, the smoke will penetrate the building, and it will smell like smoke all over. You have no problems, but you have to be finished by then. And
I had no idea.
So that's why we had to start really early, because otherwise the tofu factory will be full of smoke because of us. Yeah, and so yeah, it was really a pain to bring everything there, to smoke there. Also, it was not like yeah, it was really a lot of work. and we managed we got really lucky to create something in our production site now that we can do the same. And it was a lot of work to understand how to do it, because we all don't come from the food industry. Like I'm saying, me and my partner, like I'm graphic designer and he is musician. So we don't have this experience of like food industry and how to do everything. So we had to learn a lot of things, like, and we're still learning.
Wow.
And do you sell them in Migros now or Coop or where?
So right now we sell in most organic shops in Switzerland, and we sell in Coop. So we have like
but it's in Coop now.
Coop. Yes.
Oh,
You can find it in Coop, like in the bigger Coop mega stores.
Yeah.
And starting from April, we will extend in more Coops. We cannot say much about it yet, but it will be more. So, yeah. So right now, like the focus is like to try to sell more in those places where we are selling, and to build up like for gastronomy, like, because there's like plenty of bakers and convenience, sandwich, whatever, gas station and all that. And there's some really exciting news about starting from March. There will be like a sandwich together with new roots spread with our salmon.
Awesome.
There will be one all across Switzerland in a convenience chain, which is amazing. Yeah.
That's
it will be very easy to get your hands on.
Pretty cool.
Are you interested maybe in AWEC stores, or do you need a contact, or you know the AWEC
Maybe that's
stores?
what I'm talking about.
Monica,
so
I
you
had a
will
question,
go with AWEC. Okay.
We can't say too much about it, but it's gonna be something in this way. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
I have a question about the wood. Where do you get the wood from, and what type of wood it is?
Yeah, so we didn't make a secret out of this because I was a bit naive in the beginning. So we wrote it on the packaging, but I think it's okay. Like you realize later that the business of food, everyone tries to copy everyone. So in the beginning, I was a bit naive to write explicitly. Like if you read on the package, it's written that we use how you say it, Fichtenholz. Maybe someone can help me in English. It's like
no.
pine. It's
Monica?
like pine wood. Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I had a question about the texture and the flavor. If I were to close
Wait, let me finish the question.
Yeah.
Maybe let me finish the answer, because I didn't finish the answer. So we sourced the wood from the brother of the guy running the tofu factory. He's a farmer, and he's doing every year new poles for his how you say Alp. And there's a lot of leftover wood, so we take it and use it for smoking. Yeah.
My question was about texture and flavor. If
I never thought it this way. Now actually saying it, now I need to think about it. But yeah, I mean, wood used here in the area for the.
Juval, can you hear us okay?
Yeah, I can hear you very well now.
Perfect. The connection dropped a little bit. So I think you said that you're going to think about it a little bit further and see what wood is in the area. Is that right?
Yeah. We have a lot of wood in the area here because there is a lot of Alps and a lot of trees. So, but we don't use a lot of wood. It's a very small amount. Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay,
thank you. Monica.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask about the texture and the flavor. Would you say that if one was to close one's eyes, you would taste salmon, or you would taste a vegetable that tastes like salmon, or you would have a texture that is just like salmon. And then how much is that being driven? Like, how much is the sodium content? Because often a lot of these processed foods from vegetarian and vegan are pretty heavy on the salt. How would you say that the salt level is on your product?
It's a good question. So basically, I mean, someone else has to answer it for me about the texture, because of course I will say that if you close your eyes, it tastes like salmon. But I also, funny story, I never, like, because I didn't eat salmon for so many years. So when I developed this product, I didn't even try to compare it myself. We just went with it. But I think the feedback we get, it's quite insane. Like, so I trust the feedback, I trust what people say, and they will say that especially the texture is really like salmon. It's because of the oiliness of the product. We use oil, of course, to create this effect. So yes, to answer your question, I think it really tastes like salmon if you close your eyes, especially in combination with other things. Like if you combine it with like a toast bread and dill and how you eat salmon, then even more the effect. And about the salt, yes, it's probably not the it's not really unsalty. So we use salt, and it's quite, I think we kind of found the right balance. Whereas for some people, like for most of the people, it's fine. I would say that it's like a bit like salmon. So salmon is quite salty, so it's a bit more on the saltier side, like an antipasti. Like if you eat dried tomatoes in oil, think it a bit in this way. It's something that you need a little bit of it to have a bit of an intensity in your mouth. And yeah, we're using sea salt. It's very natural. So and it's not thought to eat. You don't need to eat a lot of it. That's true. It's more like a small amount. Yeah. I hope I answered your question.
Yes, thanks.
So how big is the production just now? You said it would be crazy to produce everything in the little chamber that you started out with. Can you give us a feel for it, like how many kilograms or whatever you produce, like a day or a month?
So we just, with this new client, I think we just tripled our production. So in the last week, so we went from, let's say that starting from next week, we will touch like the 2,000 kilos a week of raw carrots that we produce. So that's quite a lot for us.
That's huge.
It's quite a lot of carrots. Yeah,
Wow.
That's quite a lot of carrots. Yeah, I mean, you have to take in account that during the process, a lot of the weight of the carrots get lost, unfortunately. Depending on the season and the content of water, but yeah, that's how it is. And we are by now like not full time, but we are a pool of like 10 people working.
Wow.
Most of the week. Yeah.
And that would have been my second question. Like, is it still a two-man show, or do you guys have some support team? Okay.
No,
wow,
we have.
this is awesome.
Yeah, I mean, we had to improvise a lot. Like we had to learn a lot of things. Like suddenly running a business with so many employees, it's not easy. And the reason also we have so many people is because we have
the connection is not so good.
Our own money. Let's say we didn't. Yeah. Can you hear me now again?
Yeah, but I couldn't understand what was the reason you have so many people.
The reason we have so many people is because we don't have like big machines, let's say, that do the work for them. We work with small machines and a lot of handwork still, because we didn't work with investors or the bank. So we just gradually reinvest what we earn. yeah, maybe it's time to think bigger now, but we played it safe, let's say. It's like we started with very small capital, and from there we took all secondhand machines, and I mean, we didn't pay each other a salary, you know, so.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's why we have a lot of people. I think even if we do more, like it will look different, like in a few months. If we invest in bigger machines, then we will have less people, of course. Now it sounds like, oh, crazy, they have already 10 people working, yeah, but because it's really a lot of work.
Ooh, it's like a manufacturer style.
Yeah, manufacturer,
but,
you know, everything by hand.
Pretty cool. Totally
Yes.
inspiring. Yeah, maybe you guys should come back like in a few months' time. It will be a totally different picture that you can share with us.
Yeah,
hopefully by
I
then we
think
can
so.
also finally meet up again in person and eat together and share some stories in a different setup. That would be cool.
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
Yeah, so let's keep
Yeah.
in touch.
Yes.
Any other questions? I saw, Juval, that you were on Food Hack as well, kind of one of the top 3 innovations in February. Congratulations. How did that come about?
I have no idea. Is someone here that has an idea? I didn't know about Food Hack, actually. I didn't know what it is. And they just featured us without, like, we didn't know anything about it. And someone made me aware of it, and I think it's great. I believe. I don't even know yet. Is it a big thing?
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. It's quite an innovative piece. So congratulations. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, it's quite nice.
If because I also saw on your website you're selling tofu and tempeh. So for our friends who are in other countries, can they get a hold of your salmon at the moment? Are you international?
Not yet, actually. I'm sorry. I'm very much sorry. And it's really a good question. We don't really know when this is going to happen. Like, to ship overseas is super expensive, especially because it's a fresh product. So it doesn't really make much sense. And especially also what doesn't really make much sense is to, you know, our product is very, very regional and seasonal. So it's kind of a funny feeling to sell Swiss carrots abroad. We are rather like kissing the idea of making like a franchise out of it with like locally based manufacturer that do the same, which will be something a bit different than the usual big corporations. But it's really, yeah, it's a really difficult question. I think the Swiss market is very big still to explore. There's still a lot to explore here, and it's not our main driver to go abroad for now. You know, maybe with other products, but like dry product, maybe that could be interesting, like shelf type of product. But for the salmon, difficult topic. Let's meet in a few months. Maybe it looks different.
Sounds great. If people want to get involved with you, keep in touch, apply for a job, what are you looking for, and what's the best way to do that?
Well, there is our email. Should I just share? Or so we definitely gonna need help. We're trying to understand exactly where our help is most needed, like administration or like in production. In production, we always need people. So if someone really wants to work and experience like producing salmon carrot, you're more than welcome. We always need people. So that's for sure. And for any other job, I'm more than happy to answer the email. Yeah, you can find our email on the website, wildfoods.ch. Yeah.
Perfect. Well, we've got a couple minutes left, so I thought it'd be great to
Sure, no
take
problem.
this chance to just to say a big thank you for coming along. It's been fantastic and very informative, and it's also an incredibly exciting, young, dynamic company. Wild Foods and the wood smoked salmon, to answer Monica's question, it is delicious. So if you like fish, it tastes exactly like that. So it's incredible. So I'm very excited to see what happens in the next coming months, and to look forward to your success.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yeah, thanks for the invite.
Thank you.
Always,
Thank you. All the best.
Yeah, it's nice to share and to it's you get a different perspective when you talk about it. Yeah, it's nice.
Yeah, also then I'm lucky being in Switzerland. Woo-hoo. I'm able to buy.
Yes. There's some more people I see now. Yes.
All right, Juval, thanks a lot. And thanks all for joining.
Okay, this is it.
Great night.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I hope to meet one of the potlucks one day.
Yeah,
it'll be fun.
Please come and join us
We will
soon.
bring some food. Yes, let's hope this is over soon with the madness.
Oh,
yeah.
Fingers crossed. Yeah, can't wait. Take care and keep on rocking.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You too,
Bye,
guys.
everybody.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
See you
Bye.
soon.
Bye.
Yeah, see you soon. Bye.
You soon.